Welcome to my Days of Our Lives official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Konstantin tells John about Catharina's murder at the police station. Jada was surprised to see Harris walk into work. "Are not you supposed to be on bed rest?" Jada asked. Harris complained that he couldn't rest until he determined how Clyde had escaped from captivity. Jada explained that there had been a poisonous slip at the captivity and the captors had demanded to be vacated. When the captivity guard took a head count, Clyde was MIA, Jada said. Harris asked about Goldman, but Jada had no updates. Goldman couldn't have pulled this off on her own, Harris said. Jada agreed. With a shake of his head, Harris argued that Clyde would stay original so that he could keep tabs on his medicine business. "Away from Goldman, we do not know who differently is helping him," Jada said. Harris jounced, and he walked out. In the interrogation room, Brady watched as Teresa yelled at Tate for having sneaked out of the halfway house to break into the DeMaramants. "I had to talk to Holly. I had to try to clean up this mess," Tate said. "Well, this is an indeed bigger mess now," Teresa lumbered. Tate admitted he'd been hopeless. "I do not suppose you understand how you've squinched up then. You've not only violated a legal accreditation, you could go back to jail," Brady said. Tate asked his parents to understand that he'd been going crazy stuck in the halfway house. Upset, Brady said, "What you did last night was a really bad move." Tate asked his parents what they would have done if they had been unjustly locked in a recovery installation and there was only one person that could get them freed. "So, yeah, I went to see her. And all she had to do was tell her stupid stepfather that I had nothing to do with those medicines, and also I could have come home," Tate said. "We all want you to come home. But my God, you were doing so well," Teresa said. Tate moaned with exasperation. Tate argued that it was pointless to measure his progress at an installation for a problem he didn't have. When Tate yelled that he hadn't committed a crime, Brady reminded Tate that he'd broken into the manse. "Holly could have given me authorization," Tate said. "Did she?" Teresa asked. Before Tate could respond, Brady noted that Tate's conduct had swelled the situation into an indeed bigger mess. "We all want the verity. We want Holly to tell the verity. But breaking the law isn't the way to get it," Brady argued. Frustrated, Tate summarily agreed that he was a screw-up. Tate lamented that he hadn't called 911 as soon as he'd set up Holly. "My life is over," Tate said. "Do not say that," Brady stressed. Tate argued that everyone, including his parents, believed he was a clunker. "We do not suppose you are a clunker. We just suppose that you made a mistake," Teresa stressed. Brady argued that miscalculations were what made someone mortal. Nicole Andy.J. went into Holly's room to check on her. "We need to talk about last night." "About Tate breaking in," E.J. said. "He did not break in, okay?" Holly snapped. E.J. argued that Tate's conduct were the description of breaking and entering. Holly argued that the situation had been a misreading and that Tate was innocent. "I did what I had to do for your safety and the safety of this family," E.J. said. Holly yelled Fate.J. didn't need to shoot Tate to jail to keep the family safe. "When you break the law, there are consequences," E.J. said. Nicole suggested Fate.J. had overreacted. Tate just wanted to talk to Holly. "For God's sake, they are just teenagers," Nicole said. E.J. combated that indeed teenagers were responsible for their conduct. "Yes, but they make miscalculations. They act impulsively. I mean, that is nothing compared to what I did when I was her age. And I am sure you, as well," Nicole said. E.J. dismissed Nicole's argument. "You do not know, Tate, at each," Holly said. "I do know that he was brought to Salem after being demurred out of academy for vandalization," E.J. combated. Holly argued that being a prankster didn't make Tate a medicine dealer. "I know he did not medicine me. Holly yelled. Startled, Nicole asked Holly how she could be sure when she had no memory of the night of the overdose. I know, because Tate would no way do anything like that, Holly stammered. Holly prayed E.J. not to shoot Tate to jail. Nicole gave a look to J, and he agreed to consider the options. After E.J. walked out, Holly asked Nicole why J wanted to make a big deal about the situation. Nicole agreed J was overzealous, and she promised to encourage E.J. not to shoot Tate to jail. EJ cares about you, and he is just looking out for you, Nicole said. He is not my father. And if he really cares about me, he would back off on trying to discipline Tate. Because he is a good person, Mama. Tate's not who J's making him out to be, Holly said. As Holly stressed that Tate had been nice to her on New Year's Eve, Nicole asked Holly if she was covering for Tate. Holly moaned. Do you flash back further about that night than you are telling me? Nicole asked. Holly prevaricated and reiterated that she had no memory of the night but that she was certain that Tate hadn't cured her. I hear you loud and clear, Nicole said. Holly asked if Nicole believed she could change E.J.'s mind. I'll do my stylish, Nicole promised. Nicole told Holly that she'd get her lunch, and also they could bandy counsel plans. With a lukewarm smile, Holly jounced her head in agreement. After Nicole left the room, Holly put on her shoes and ran out. Ween.J entered his living room. Harris was staying for him. What brings you by, operative? EJ said. Harris asked about Stefan. Butte.J said he hadn't seen his family in days. Harris noted that it was a strange coexistence that Stefan had faded at the same time that Clyde had escaped captivity and faded. What exactly are you insinuating? EJ asked. Harris argued that he'd a hunch that Stefan had been connected to the escape, and he believed Fate.J had further information. You are out of your mind, E.J said. So, you know nothing about Clyde Weston's escape? Harris asked. E.J reminded Harris that he was the quarter attorney and he would had no hand in Clyde's escape. Ween.J added that he didn't know where to find Stefan. Harris called E.J a fabricator. E.J rolled his eyes. Harris said he felt Fate.J had known further about Stefan's part in Clyde's business than he'd admitted. I know Stefan's working with Clyde, Harris said. And how the hell do you know that? EJ asked. Harris told E.J that Stefan was the bone that had shot him. With a chortle, E.J noted that all the substantiation refocused to Xander, who was in guardianship. Of course it does, because Clyde and your family framed Xander. And I am starting to suppose you are in on this, too, Harris said. Nicole walked by and asked E.J if he'd seen Holly. E.J offered to search the grounds with Nicole. With a shake of her head, Nicole declined the offer and walked out. E.J started to marshal Harris out of the house, but Harris demanded answers first. Just tell me where Stefan is, and I will go, Harris said. With a moan, E.J said he didn't know where to find Stefan, and if he did, he'd have hauled him down to the police station. Face data. Xander Cook shot you, not my family, E.J stressed. Stefan shot me. He pulled the detector, Harris stressed. Ween.J asked for evidence. Harris told E.J that he'd seen Stefan shoot him. You pulled that out of your burrow. How can you prove you saw Stefan and not Xander? EJ asked. I've my word. And that means commodity. I am an operative and a Navy SEAL, Harris said. With a boo, E.J noted that Harris had suffered a lot of brain damage and his memory couldn't be trusted. I'll find Stefan. And when I do, I am going to take down every dirty bastard that is involved in this mess, Harris advised.